Oh, I can't wait to see you guys. I cannot wait. I'm so hassled and I just couldn't wait to see you all today. I'm just going to get some brushes while I'm waiting for you all to come on. What brushes do I have here? Here we go. We've got my Sonia G and it's clean. That's good. I've got a Real Technique setting brush. Funny lighting. Funny lighting. Anyhow, let me just put my good microphone in. Let me just put that in here. If I start running out of charge, I'm going to... Hello there, Nina. Hello. Thank you for joining me. I'm so pleased to see you guys this week. I really am. So good to have a catch up and a natter and find out what you're all doing. You've just read my profile and you cannot believe how similar we are. How's that, Nina? Tell me. Tell me more. I'd love to know. I thought today I would put on this Pat McGrath palette. I trained as a singer too, and a music therapist, and disabled. Wow, that is similar. Wow. Well, welcome, Nina. That is really bizarre. Because that's quite an unusual kind of mixture of things to do and to be disabled as well. So, welcome. I've been medically retired now, but I was working up until 2018 as a music therapist. Well, actually, what happened was I was redeployed because, you know, they're cutting a lot of funding for arts therapies in the NHS. So I was redeployed to be a service manager for an eating disorder service, but my profession was still music therapist, my background profession. I now travel the world as mental health and well-being consultant and wish we could share pics as I adore makeup to help with so much in life. Oh, we definitely have a lot to chat about, Nina. So I'm really glad you've joined me. And also hello to Aisha Khatri. Hello Shahina. I've just been hearing about Nina and we are remarkably similar in our loves. You'll email me. Great, do. Don't be surprised if I don't get back to you for a while. I'm terrible with emails. Ask anyone that emails me. Hello there, Emma. Hello, Aisha. I have had... Hello, Bushra. I will reply eventually. I'm just a bit overwhelmed at the moment. Hello, Colette. I've had the most... Hello, Bushra. Hello, Arman. I sing musical theatre but work in cybersecurity. I'm Indian, so there aren't many roles for me. Oh. Well, I'm half Indian, so I get it. I did go for an audition once for Miss Saigon because they were looking for olive skin tones. But I wasn't tall enough. I'm 4'8". There's no roles for 4'8" people either. Right. I have had a dreadful week. A dreadful week. And I am stressed up to here. Okay? Now, if you hear a sudden crash, bang, wallop in the background, it is my kitchen ceiling coming down. Because, yes, it is about to come down. I've managed, someone's coming out at 6 o'clock. Okay, so that's stress number one. Hello there, Lisa. And I'm laughing, but honest to God, I have been cyber singing Amazing Lady, Armand. Yes. So, that's first. Secondly, my buyer has dropped out. Long story, I won't go into it here. My buyer for my flat has dropped out. So I'm back to square one. Thank you. You loved my Natasha Denona warm look. Thank you so much. All sorts of things. Problems getting through to my dad because they're not charging up his tablet. You name it, everything's happened this week. So I'm really stressed out. Yes. But that's why I was really looking forward to coming and having a chat to you guys. And, you know, I'm going to do my video to show you my Harrods bag, which I'm delighted with. But I'm going to do that in a non-live video, all right? And I was meaning to do it yesterday. But I ran out of time because of all sorts of other stressful things. Solicitors calling about the flat sale and you name it. Everything was going on. And about my ceiling about to come down. All of that's happening. So that's coming out shortly. I also want to give you my thoughts on my La Prairie items because I've got lots of thoughts about that now. I'm wearing it and I feel so complexion confident. Hello, Stacey. Everyone's saying hello as I'm chatting. Hello, Stacey. I should sing for you someday. I should, you know, I'm so out of practice. I need to practice a bit because with all the stress, I know everyone's going to tell me off, but I've been smoking a bit and it's kind of made my voice a bit husky. So, yes. Anyway, but I thought, do you know what? At the beginning of the week, I still had some birthday money. And it was from Mick, so I was going to get myself some jewellery or something. And I thought, what the hell? And I've ordered the new La Prairie powder as well, which is due to come any minute. But because I'm just loving the way that these products look on my skin. And yes, they're really expensive, but I'd rather get that and know that they work for me than just try out loads of new foundations that don't. So if the bell rings, it's my La Prairie. And that's the last La Prairie thing I'm getting. Because then you get into skincare, which is ridiculously expensive. But I thought today that I would put on this palette. I just picked it out. It's the Rose Decadence palette. And I've also got the matching sort of highlighter that came out at the same time. So I thought I'd put that on while I chat to you all. And I want to say also, I need to email Jane. I don't know if Jane's here, but when Jane joins us, thank you for my birthday card. And Stacey, thank you for mine. Quality over quantity. Yeah, you know what? The thing is, I've tried so many foundations. Do you remember I used to do Foundation Friday years ago? And nothing ever came close to this. I just love the look of it. And you don't feel caked in makeup. Have I tried the Maybelline Matte and Poreless foundation? I haven't actually. I did get a Maybelline one. I've forgotten what it's called, but because I've got quite dry skin, so I tend not to go for matte. But I had difficulty finding a shade that was dark enough. I do find that these drugstore foundations, they either do light or very dark and nothing in between. Oh, you're welcome, Stacey. So I'm going to chat to you all while I just play about and put some of this on. So as I said, this is the Natasha Denona Rose Decadence palette. And I'm just going to put this lovely pink shade on. Thank you. Do you know what though? Thank you, Bushra. It's so easy with that palette, as I've said, because it tells you what to put where. So you really can achieve that look. Even if you're not confident with palettes, you can achieve it because it just tells you what to put where. Hello, Maria. Oh, so many people joining me. So lovely to see you all. You've just had a Beautylish delivery, the Moisture Foundation and Concealer from Kogendo. Has anyone tried it? No, I haven't. Has anyone here tried the Wayne Goss bronzer palette yet? Because I was thinking at some point, I haven't seen your birthday haul on Instagram, but I will go and have a look. I was thinking about getting the Wayne Goss palette, but I don't know whether or not to get the medium or what shade to get in it. There's 3, isn't there? I'm just going to put this sort of peachy matte shade on in the socket. Who's excited for Lisa Eldridge's new blush and highlighter? Me? I didn't know. Do you know what? I've been so busy looking at following up solicitors and that this week. I didn't know that there was one coming out, but I'm definitely excited. Oh, this is looking nice, even though I say so myself. This reminds me a little bit of some of the pinks in the 12 Pan Pillow Talk palette. And I think it came out at a very similar time. This Rose Decadence palette came out at a similar time to the 12 Pan Pillow Talk palette. Is it good, Shahina? It's a beautiful face powder to highlight. So lightweight. Where do you find the breaking news about makeup releases? That is a really good question, Nina. There's a few places, and I think I'm not finding them all. So Nina asked, where do you find all the breaking news stories about makeup releases? One of the places is Really Ree. She tends to talk about a lot. So if you look on her blog, Really Ree, she does a lot of new product reviews. Instagram tend to. Anyone else got some really good blog websites for new makeup releases? Oh, Nina said she's going to follow you all if you put your Insta here, please. Charlotte Holcroft on YouTube. CTR, is that what I said it would be SPF? So Lisa's saying that Charlotte Tilbury's bringing out a new SPF 50 primer. Remember when Wayne Goss got that big box from Charlotte Tilbury with the new serum in, and it had the new exfoliator in, and there was a gap at the end, and we thought it's either going to be an Essence, but because it was at the end of the box, we thought maybe it would be an SPF. That's really good. I tell you, an SPF, I just ran out of my Paula's Choice SPF. And I've been trying a new one. And it's really good for me because you know that I've been getting this pigmentation, which is actually quite well covered up at the moment with this La Prairie. And it's really been popping out in the sun. And I saw an advert on television for Nivea. And Nivea have brought out this new serum and SPF for brown spots, for pigmentation. And I thought, I'm going to try that. It's on offer in Boots, and I just ran out. That day, I just run out of my Paula's Choice SPF. And so I bought it, and I've been using it, and I have noticed a little bit of a reduction already in my pigmentation. It's not popping out as much. I wish I'd shown you without my foundation on, but it's definitely working, and it's got an SPF of 50 in it. The really weird thing about it is that the serum is in a bigger tube than the SPF. So I keep going to pick up the serum thinking it's the SPF, and the SPF thinking it's the serum, because I would expect the SPF to be in a bigger bottle than the serum, but it's the other way round. Don't worry. How much is it? Maria, it was on offer. I can't remember exactly, but it was on offer in Boots. They had money off it. I can't remember how much I paid for it. Around 20-ish, I think. Yeah, and also, Nina, the other thing is, if you go onto hashtag Ali Pallies, whenever someone posts something they'll put Ali Pallies, because we're all Ali Pallies. My Instagram is Ali M's Beauty, and as is my Twitter, as is everything. But if you put in Ali Pallies hashtag as well, you should be able to find a lot of people. Does the CT one look quite small? Yeah, so I definitely, if you've got pigmentation, I definitely recommend the new Nivea one for pigmentation. Except there's not a huge amount of it in. I'll have to do a little thing on SPF soon. Right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some of this matte burgundy type shade in the corner in a V shape. So yeah, my kitchen ceiling is about to come down at any moment. Any moment, literally. So if you hear, just be relieved that I'm not standing underneath it. I can kind of laugh about it because it's not my house. I've got enough to worry about with my flat and not being able to sell it. No, I won't have to pay for it. It's got nothing to do with damage. Only if I've caused the damage. It's got nothing to do with me. But the estate agents weren't getting back to me, and I said, well, if you want the ceiling to come down, it's no skin off my nose, because you'll just have more money to pay. And apparently the estate agents have not been communicating with the landlord. And I managed to get hold of her independently this morning, and she was horrified. She's sending someone out this evening, and apparently they're about to have a go at the estate agents, which is their problem, because the estate agents knew about it mid-February and didn't tell them. Didn't bother to tell them. So what they're paying them for, I don't know. I'm going to use a highlighter. Now, let me just I'm going to use some black Victoria Beckham liner. I'm loving them all. And my sister, I haven't got it yet, but my sister's got me the grey ash one, which is coming soon. I think she's bringing it round tomorrow. So I will have all the Victoria Beckham liners by then. And I'm just loving them. They're great. The only thing I would say, the only slight snag about them, because they're so soft, if you don't set them with powder, they can start to budge a little bit on the upper lid. But they're so easy to get on. Is the light look of palette eye look Oh, Arman, you were the one that asked me about this, weren't you? And I haven't done that video yet, and I feel really bad. I need to do some swatches. I will do those swatches. I tell you what, I will put them up on community. Bear with me just for one more day, and I will swatch Exaggerize next to the Light Look of Love. All right? I'm really sorry. The reason I would say that I'll do it this afternoon, except I've got builders coming to no doubt pull down my kitchen ceiling. But I will do that. I promised you, and I hate not living up to my promises. I'm just going to blend that out a bit. Oh, it wasn't you. Oh, well, somebody asked me if I could do a comparison with Exaggerize. So, and I promised that I would do it last week, and I haven't got round to it. So, I will do it. What I'll do is I'll swatch them and put it up in the community posts on YouTube. This gives you a very defined, it's a very black, but you can smudge it out to look a little bit grey. I can't wait to get my grey one of these. But they're just so easy to apply. Because you don't have to press on the eyelid at all. They're just so soft. And this on my lips, I put on some of her lip liner this morning. And it just gives a lovely natural look to the lips. This is shade number 4. And I thought I'll just cover that with a bit of gloss. But I love her lip liners as well. They're really good. So Victoria Beckham definitely knows how to do a good liner. And what she does is the opposite of what most people do, is they make quite hard kohl liners and then they make quite soft lip liners, and she does the opposite, and it works because you want something soft to put around your eyes, but when you start lining your lips you actually want something a little bit harder that's not going to bleed. So I think she's got it the right way round. I know my eyes look quite black now, don't they? But it will look all right once I've finished. I don't know, I was looking for a new office look. So stuck between Golden Goddess and Exaggerize. Exaggerize, I tell you what Exaggerize is very similar to. Oh, the elf liners are really good. I tell you what, I've got an elf liner. I'll come back to your thing about Golden Goddess and Exaggerize. Elf line, I've got an elf eyeshadow stick, rose gold, which is really good and very cheap. Elf are very, very good. Now, Exaggerize is very, very close to Pillow Talk. And they came out at very similar times. And a lot of people were saying, what's the difference between Exaggerize and Pillow Talk at the time? And there's one slight difference, is that they're very similar colour story, but the Pillow Talk's got more matte in it. So it's, if you've got hooded lids and you're sort of thinking, should I get Pillow Talk or Exaggerize? I would say get Pillow Talk, because they're not as... Exaggerize has got quite big chunky glitter in it. Golden Goddess is beautiful, but it's a different... Obviously it's sort of gold, and it's... I would say it's probably slightly more of a natural look than Exaggerize. But what I haven't done yet is swatch Exaggerize next to the new Instant Look in a palette, the lighter one. So I will do that and swatch them for you. The pop shade is amazing, but it goes everywhere if you're not careful. And it has got quite chunky glitter particles in it. So it is amazing, provided you're careful. I always end up with big chunky glitter particles on my cheek if I'm not careful with that pop shade. The other thing I noticed, I got for Christmas, I got the Bella Sophia palette, which, as you know, used to be called Dolce Vita. And I don't know for sure yet, but I'm pretty certain that she's changed the pop shade since the original Dolce Vita, because it doesn't feel as emollient in my Bella Sophia palette. And I can't work out if it's just because it's new. But it seems like it's a different formula. I'm just putting on here the Victoria Beckham mascara. Now, you know that I said that Sky High mascara is really good. I mentioned this in my video the other day. They've now brought out a waterproof one, Sky High. Really, really good. And again, it's on offer in a drugstore. I think they've got, Boots have got £2 off it, so it's £7. Really good mascara. But you really need some heavy duty makeup remover to get it off. Which means it's good for when my eyes are really watery because it doesn't budge. But it is the most difficult mascara I've ever had to get off. It took me a good 15 minutes to get all of it off. You got a mini Orgasm blush and Laguna in one. Also got Orgasm blush, X blush. You need to try Orgasm and Orgasm X. Both are available in mini. I was looking at that yesterday. I couldn't find the minis. I was looking on Look Fantastic. So I'll have to go back and have a look at that. I have got, by the way, I've got Laguna on today. And I'm absolutely loving this bronzer. Because it just doesn't look orange. It looks a classy bronzer. It gives you that je ne sais quoi, but it doesn't look orange. I'm really, really loving the NARS bronzer. Exaggerize is the safe bet for an office look. For me, that's a good one. I suppose it depends on what office, because it is quite glitzy on the lid, but it's very good at opening your eyes. I would say if I was choosing between Golden Goddess and Exaggerize, I'd probably go for Exaggerize. But Golden Goddess is probably more versatile. Yeah, well, it's on today, but it just doesn't look like bronzer. I think Charlotte's one, when you put that on, you look like you've just put bronzer on. And, I mean, the one that I've got in medium doesn't show up on me of Charlotte's. That's a medium. But the Laguna just looks pretty. I can't quite put my finger on what I love about it, except that it's not an orange bronzer. You know what I mean about... You see these young girls, teenagers, getting their brush out and doing this with their bronzer. And they're putting it all over their face and it's orange. They look like these very pale-faced teenagers shoving orange on their face. And it is the opposite of that. It really is. It's kind of the sophisticated bronzer. That's what I would call it. So I definitely want to try some more cheek products. Let me do my brows. Hello, Jane. Hello, Jane. Have I answered anything you said? I'm not sure, Stacey. You got yes, the mini Orgasm blush. You've read poor reviews about this. Strange. Jane, thank you so much for my birthday card. Oh yes, poor reviews about the blush, the bronzer. Temptalia gave it a really bad review. I like that it's creamy and it does look nice on, but it is orange. And compared to NARS, I'm actually loving this NARS one now. So I got the NARS one in my Harrods bag as a gift with purchase. And as I said, I've not really, I think I've tried something by NARS, but I can't remember what. I haven't got a lot of NARS stuff. And it's made me now want to try some more complexion products by NARS. Because I'm just loving that bronzer. It looks so natural. Oh, the NARS one. Oh. Well, this is Laguna. Let me put a bit more on so that I mean, I've put it on, but it's so subtle it doesn't look like you've put bronzer on, so it's difficult to show on camera. It's got a slight shimmer to it as well. Now, you probably think, looking at that, that's not going to show up much on my skin, and it doesn't. I'll show you what I mean. Let me put a bit more on. I've got plenty on, but I really like it. I really like it. I tell you what I'm going to do, because I'm only going to pick Jack up from school. Right, so there's the NARS. Let me put a bit of Charlotte Tilbury. Oh, I haven't got the tan shade here. I haven't got the tan shade here, which is the one that I need to show you. I was going to show you the Charlotte Tilbury one on that side and then the NARS one on that side. But the Charlotte Tilbury one is more orange. It looks like you've got bronzer on, whereas this just looks like a natural kind of lit from within. It doesn't look like makeup to me. It just looks like the natural contour of my face. So I'm really impressed with it. I usually go really full coverage, but I spent my birthday money on loads of Trini and BFF serum and BFF eye serum, and it's fab. They are good. Now, I was going to say, if you've seen all my La Prairie, and I'm going to do a video about it, because I appreciate it is ridiculously expensive. And I've said, right, it's worth it. I'm going to just have a little La Prairie fund set by, so when I run out, I'm going to buy it, because it's better than wasting my money on things that don't suit me. But I appreciate that a lot of people are not going to want to spend that kind of money. What I will say is that the closest foundation that I've got, and it is very similar to this La Prairie one that costs a fortune, is the By Terry Click Stick foundation. The only thing about the By Terry Click Stick foundation, I'm looking around to see if I can see it here to show you, and I don't think I've got it here to show you. The only thing is about the packaging. So it comes with this lid and a brush, and after a while it starts cracking, and then you can't get the lid off because the bottom bit has cracked, and you start pulling the housing off rather than just the lid. And I thought, oh, maybe I was just a bit clumsy one day. And then when I got the hyaluronic concealer by Terry, the same thing happened with the concealer. And I thought, right, this is not me being clumsy now. This is a design flaw. But the actual foundation is very, very similar to La Prairie. You heard Trini talk about that on Facebook the other day. Oh, what about the BFF? The BFF serum is lovely. And Jane, when I got it, Jane said it looks better as the day goes on, and it does. It definitely does. And again, that's quite a similar, if you don't like to look like you're wearing a lot of makeup, I think it's great. And I love all the Trini products. And they're really great if you're out and about. I think where I get a bit, I kind of go through phases with Trini. I go through phases of using her stuff and getting new things and then kind of putting it away again. And I think the reason for that is I get a bit bored of everything being a cream product, especially on the eyes. I want to mix. I think the lovely thing about makeup is being able to mix your formulas. And, I'll put a bit of powder there and then a bit of cream there. And everything's cream. Everything. There isn't a powder in sight. And then you've got all these pots all stacked up and they all look the same. It's really great if you're out and about, or you're going on a holiday, or you're spending a weekend away, and you can chuck it in your bag and you can get a really, decent look with those things. That's when I love it. But if you want to play about with makeup and get really creative, it's not what I go for. So it depends on the mood that I'm in. But if you're working and you want stuff in your bag, it's great. I'm sort of addicted to CT, but I have to say, Jane, that I'm getting to a point now. I think since CT sold to Puig, that some of their releases, some of them I've been excited about, others I've just thought, oh, this is them just chucking out another new release for the sake of it. Yeah, if you get me some, hang on. Yeah, I just think CT, when the company started up, you could tell that Charlotte Tilbury was completely in on everything. And nothing got past it. If Charlotte didn't like it, if it didn't work, then it didn't get past her. I think some of the things like, for example, the Hyaluronic Happy Kiss, formula's great. Packaging is a bit cheap and nasty. I don't think Charlotte would have released that beforehand. She'd have released the formula, but it wouldn't have been in that packaging. I think they're trying to make production costs cheaper and keep this, rather than putting the prices up, they're trying to make production costs cheaper. And sometimes that's what shows. And I've never bought this thing about there being a different formula in those quads. They just tried to sneak that in, I think, and thought nobody would notice that you got less product for your money. Yeah, often what happens, because they're a bigger company and they want to make bigger profits. Charlotte was all about it was her baby, so. Hello there, Rebecca. Right, I'm just going to plug my charger in because the battery's running down. Excuse me a second. So, Rebecca, I need to catch up with you. I haven't been catching up with anyone. My flat sale fell through. It's a really long story, but I'm so stressed out at the moment. You would not believe. So I'm back to square one. And, whereas 2 years ago, a flat in the Barbican would have just flown off the shelves because everybody wanted to live in central London. Now, everyone wants to get out of London, and a lot of these offices are selling their office buildings because they've realised that they don't need to pay these expensive rents, that people can work from home because they've been doing it for the last year with COVID, and a lot of people now are deciding to close up shop in London and get out of London. Oh, Stacey, yes, go to urgent care if you've got pulsing in your ears. Yes, Emma's saying it was a much about the experience. You know how I've noticed, so Emma said, I felt before with CT, it was very much about the experience, and now not so much. When I noticed that, with the packaging, when it arrives, it used to be really beautifully wrapped. You could tell it wasn't just dumped in a box and stuck down. They kind of, the way they put the ribbon round the box and everything else. They wanted you to have that experience when you opened it, like you felt that Christmas had come early. Now it feels like, they've got that paper that sticks down unless you order a gift box and pay extra. And even then, the way the sticker's stuck down, it's not straight. It's just looked like someone's just gone right next. So yeah, I agree with that. And it does make a difference. It does make a difference, especially if you're spending good money on products. You wait until you see my La Prairie. I know because I've had something in the past, I think. I can't remember whether it was when I got the other powder, but when something comes from La Prairie, the box is just, I mean, it should be for that price. You're scared to go, Stacey. Now, come here. Stacey's scared to go to A&E in case she has to go into hospital. Stacey, if you've got a head injury and if you're in any doubt, then don't bury your head in the sand, excuse the pun. Right? You need to be checked out if you've got pulsing in your ears. So you need to go and be seen. And don't worry about if it's this, then I'll have to go to hospital. Just take my advice. This last week, if I was to tell you all the problems that I've had in the last week, ceiling's about to come down. I've told you some of them. And you know that I've suffered from anxiety and depression. One of the things that I've learned is that you have to look at one issue at a time and not let it pile up and not say, well, if I do that, then this might happen and then that might happen and I can't cope. You can't think like that. You cannot. And I used to, and that's why I ended up in a bad way, mental health wise. You have to think, right, I have a problem. I need to get this sorted. Can't think about what if it's this, what if it's that, because that hasn't happened yet. You could go to A&E and they'll say, there's nothing to worry about, but keep an eye on it. You don't know what's going to happen, so you just got to go with the flow. I think 111, if Stacey says what she's just said to me, Stacey, they'll tell you to go to A&E if you say that you've got pulsing in your ears. Or at least get you to speak to a doctor. But you just got to think, right, I've got this problem, I've got to get to A&E, and put aside any of, if it's this, I'll have to go into hospital, and if it's that, I'll have to, you just got to go one thing at a time. Because when you start doing that, you drive yourself nuts. And I've decided, I never used to talk about, I was brought up by a family that my mum was from that generation that grew up in the war, that always sort of kind of saw it as a weakness to talk about mental health issues and being depressed. And, you know, and when I was having lots of surgery as a child, my mum's doctor offered her antidepressants and she said, will that make them stop operating on my daughter? No, it won't. So I'm not going to, you know, she was that generation, right? And therefore, I've kind of been brought up a bit like that. Now, last week, really good example of what really, really did not help my mental health. I got an email at 5:45 on Friday afternoon from my estate agent saying, your buyer's dropped out because she's not happy about this, this and this, which are things that I could look into. So I got that information, 5:45 on Friday, and there's no one in their office to follow up some of the things that she was concerned about, which I would want to immediately get on top of and come back to, right? So I was left my birthday weekend with, your buyer's dropped out, she's not happy about X, Y, and Z, and everybody that I contacted had gone home for the weekend. Everyone. So I've decided this week, because I've got all week, I'm still waiting to hear back, because your buyer's still interested, but she's coming back to me, and I've decided that I'm going to send an email to my estate agent tomorrow to say, I suffer from clinical depression and anxiety. If you have an update for me, can you please let me know at the latest by Friday midday? And if not, on Monday. Do not send me an email to get it off your desk at 5:45 and then leave me with stress and anxiety all weekend and nowhere to go with it, because that is not helpful. And a lot of people do that and they don't think about the receiver. They're just trying to clear their desk for the weekend so that they can go home and relax. But never mind the person they've just sent that horrible email to. Right, never mind, have a lovely weekend. Oh yeah, I'm going to have a great weekend now. Oh no, you've just told me my buyer's dropped out because she's not happy with the service charges. And half of them are incorrect that have been given to her. And I could actually put that right. But I can't do anything now for 2 days because you've all gone home. So I'm going to say to him, I have anxiety and depression, and I would like you to update me before midday on Friday so that if there is anything, I can follow it up. If you don't do that, then let me know Monday morning. Monday morning. I don't want to hear about it Friday afternoon when I can do nothing about it. You see it all the time. These companies, they do it. Everybody does it. Oh, quickly, just send out the really difficult emails on Friday afternoon so that I can get rid of my stress and enjoy my weekend. Never mind who's receiving it, that they can't, as long as I've got rid of that off my desk. It's so selfish. So selfish. I'm surrounded by people that have not come back to me at all. And then suddenly, when they're ready, drop everything. I'm saying, no, I emailed you last week. I emailed you the week before. You didn't answer me. So now you got to wait for me. It is. And we have to be assertive. We don't have to be aggressive, but we have to be assertive and point out to these people. I bet that estate agent was thinking about himself, oh, I'll get this out of the way so I can go home and relax. He wasn't thinking about how it was going to be received, but I'm going to make him think about it. I'm going to make him think about it. So I don't want to hear it on Friday afternoon. Keep it to yourself. Until I can follow up on your email, I don't want to hear about it. This colour is not my Harrods bag. Sorry, my lipstick. I've just put on one of these. This is the Pat McGrath lip gloss. So I've just put it over the Victoria Beckham lip liner, which I love. I love the Victoria Beckham lip liner. Yeah. Oh, medical profession is the worst. It possibly can still be rectified with the buyer, Rebecca. It's a long story and I will fill you in later. It's a very long story. Basically, I'll tell you a little bit, right? But you know when you've got a flat, you have to pay service charges. The people that own the freehold of my flat have not sent anything out about, you get recurring works like, you know, keeping the building maintained and keeping the lift in order and all of that. And then you get the yes, I do remember, Jane. And you get the keep going, I'm just on a roll. I'm reading all your comments. So you get the non-recurring works that are things like, oh, we've got to replace the roof, or we've got to do, you know, stuff like that. Got a letter from them in June saying, due to COVID, we have no idea what we've got planned for the next 3 years because of the COVID pandemic. We don't know what we can do. So this year, your service charge bill is just the recurring works. And that is what went in to the estate agents. And then the buyer, having given me an offer, got in contact with the freeholders who released information that they weren't supposed to do anyway to her, but released all these works they've got planned for the next 5 years that they haven't told me about, even though I actually own the lease, and have been saying they're not doing because of COVID. And when I went back to them and said, well, where have you got these figures? Where are the tenders for these works that you've quoted thousands of pounds for that have put off my buyer? Oh, he hasn't gone out to tender yet. So basically you've plucked figures from midair and put off my buyer. Yeah. So I've just been on the phone to solicitors and all sorts, but it's put her off. And they've just shared, oh, well, we'll probably do the roof and we'll probably do this and and that's probably about that amount and that's probably about that amount. And of course, they always overestimate. And she's looked at it and thought, crikey, I can't afford all that in the next 5 years, and run for the hills. The reality is they won't do half of it. And they didn't tell me about it. Yes, I know. Well, they charged me for the information. They said that I needed to get a seller's pack and it cost me £150. And it went to my solicitor, but they just gave her the information for free. Something tells me they don't want me to sell my flat, my lease. I think the corporations are trying to claw back some of the flats. I'm getting very suspicious. But meantime, I'm still renting somewhere. Money going down the drain when I've actually paid off my mortgage and was hoping to be settled. Yes, I can. Right. I'll share a few things now and I'm going to do a video. So, Nina said, can you share a few things that were in your Harrods bag? But I will do a video as well. So as you know, one of the things was this NARS bronzing powder, which I love. A little miniature one. Another thing that's on the table somewhere, there's the two things that, yes, is this Laura Mercier lipstick, which is in this shade. Beautiful, cool pink shade. Laura Mercier à la Rose. Rouge Essential à la Rose. Very cute to put in your handbag. Very, nice widdy size. Right, the other things, a lot of them were skincare. And as I said, I will do a video on this, but from memory, let me see. There was a perfume in there. Can't remember the name of it, but it was 10 mils. So it was a decent size travel bottle of a perfume. There was a Guerlain serum. No, a Shiseido serum and a Guerlain, the Orchid face cream. Again, they're all travel sizes, little sizes. There was a EGF serum by BioEffect, and I had a sample of that with my Cult Beauty order, and I've been using it on my skin. It is really good. So there was a decent kind of about 3 ml sample of EGF serum by BioEffect. There was a Pixie Glow tonic. There was, an Omorovitsa Midnight Concentrate, a retinol concentrate serum. The bag, by the way, it wasn't just a linen bag or anything. A proper leather Harrods bag. Reversible, so it's black on one side, navy on the other, and then it's got a little kind of cosmetic pouch attached inside. Really pretty. You wait till I show you. It's really lovely. Really nice bag. And then what else? I'm trying to think off the top of my head what else was in there, because I've been using a few of the things. Oh yes, Harrods do this caviar cream with a bit of glow in it, which sounds, I've made it sound really basic. It's one of their luxurious face creams. That was in there, and that was quite a good size, a decent size. There was a couple more face creams and serums, and the Pixie oh, I know, some gold eye masks. You know, the little gold ones that you put under your eyes, they look like chicken fillets. There were those, and can't think of the rest of it. It'll come to me, but I would definitely do a video. It was definitely great. It was a real treat to have it. A real treat to have it. The perfume was nice. It's probably not one that I would have picked. But actually, when you first spray it on, I thought, oh, no, that's not really my... It sort of smelt a little bit like one of those really old-style perfumes, like, do you remember Rive Gauche by Yves Saint Laurent? One of those type of perfumes. But as it mellowed down, it smelt quite beautiful, actually. Oh, and then there was some Kwai hair oil. And there was something else, another hair treatment as well, conditioning treatment. So there was a lot in there. There was a lot. Oh, and some face oil as well. Some rose face oil, which was nice. So a lot of skincare. Stacey, constant pulsing in your ears could be pressure. Given that you've had a recent head injury, you really need to get advice. And if you really don't want to go to hospital, I would definitely ring 111. Because I think they'll put you through to a doctor who'll ask you some questions. They may tell you still need to go to A&E, but at least they might not. Again, don't get that far in your head. Just either go to A&E or ring 111. Yeah, you can't mess about with bangs on the head. And that's not to try and panic you. It's also to try and reassure you. Because what's the alternative? You're going to sit there for days worrying. And you might be worrying for nothing. Once you've been checked out, at least that worry's gone away. And Jane was talking about her kidneys. I think a lot of people have just... I think as well at the moment, what's really frustrating is that you can't actually see doctors face to face. And I think they're talking about doing a lot more phone appointments now and online appointments, which is okay in some respects, but in other respects, it doesn't take away from that personal touch. We can all kind of give our thoughts on what it might or might not be, but you really need to get professional advice just to rule out certain things. Anyway, listen, I have got to go. Oh, Not Fit for Print Beauty has just put up a video. Victoria Beckham matte bronzing brick. I didn't know she's just brought out a matte bronzing brick. I'm so behind on all these releases. So there's something for you to watch when I go. So hope you all have a brilliant afternoon. I'm now off to go and pick up. I know that you're here. I know you're here, Rebecca. Stacey, you go into the hospital, please, or dial in 111. And please let us know how you get on. I will come and check tonight after I've sorted out my collapsing ceiling. And you messaged me about the VB bronzer. I haven't looked at half of my messages. I'm so sorry. Anyway, go and sort that out. I'm going to go and pick up Jack. Have a lovely day, everyone. And remember, one issue at a time. Don't worry about what might happen 2 days down the line because you'll drive yourself nuts. Love you all. Mwah. I'll let you know when my powder arrives as well. Take care. Love you. Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah.